Okay guys, today I just want to give you a little bit of an overview on what our project is going to be. I really want you to spend the time today looking for designs that you're interested in. But in order for you to be able to do that, there are some particulars about the project you need to be familiar with. This is the box that you're going to get, and this is the checkoff sheet. This kind of lets you know the timeline of how we're going to work things out. The very first thing that you're going to do when you get your box is go through the top part, which is basically to take an inventory and make sure that you have all of those materials within your box. Then it's your responsibility to keep them. Then you'll notice down at the bottom, the first thing that you're going to do are thumbnail sketches, and I'll show you the sheet you're going to do those on in just a second. You're also going to do the final drawing, and you're going to do a completed car. Those are basically the 3 checkpoints that I'm going to have with you. Inside of your box, you have a number of materials. The size of your car looks like that. It is not as long as what you would think it would be, and in fact, it is not as long as what the drawing is on the template worksheet that you're going to have to work with. I think when I measured it earlier today, it was a little bit less than 8 inches. Let's find a ruler. Let's check. I'm in the ruler drawer. And if I measure, and I start there, aha, exactly 8 inches long. So your car is 8 inches long. That's something to keep in mind. There are some other specifications that you're going to have. This is the placemat that you're going to be working with. And if you notice, the car is a whole lot longer than 8 inches. This is your block of wood on this page. And the reason that I like this page is because it gives you an opportunity to do some practice drawings up here. This page was originally designed with this block of wood. So the example cars that I'm going to show you are both the regular size that we will use as well as this giant monstrous size. We don't use these for a variety of reasons, and I'm not going to get into that today. I'll talk to you about it another day. There are some requirements that you're going to have. And again, we're going to go over this before the project, but I want you to understand ahead of time. When you go to start, you're going to lay your car on the project sheet and you're going to trace it, just like I have done here. You are not going to be able to cut. This is where the CO2 cartridge will go. Your cut-in lines on your design have to be at least a ½ inch above the CO2 mark. You cannot dip down your design until you're 3/4 of an inch out, and the same thing on the bottom. You have to leave a ½ inch before you cut. So basically on your car, it looks like this. If this is your CO2 mark, this is where a ½ inch is. You're gonna have a ½ inch up is where you can cut. So a lot of people decide that they want to round this off. You cannot go above this cut mark. We can't go below. Sorry, I just said above. You can't go below. The problem is that if we get too close to this CO2 hole, we'll actually cut the hole where the CO2 tank sits. There's already a hole in the back. And it ends up creating an issue for your tank to get inside of there. And if your tank doesn't fit, folks, your car won't launch. So you're going to have to keep that in mind at the designs you're looking at. Once you hit this 3/4 of a mark and this ½ inch mark, you can dip it down as low as you want to go. You just have to make sure that your wheels go on this point. The reason I'm showing you all of this today is that you are going to get a design page that looks like this when we get ready to start. You're going to have to do 4 different thumbnails. That means you're going to have to come up with 4 different designs that you are interested in working with. Once you come up with your 4 different designs, then you and I are going to meet individually, and through that conference, we're going to discuss which ones you think you want to do, which ones I think you should do, and we're going to narrow it down to one choice. From there, after you do the thumbnails, then you're going to do your final drawings. You won't touch these drawings until you and I have met, your thumbnails are approved, and both of us sign off on this page right here. Then you do your final drawings. Once you get your final drawing done, you'll cut that out. And I just so happen to have an example. If I can get my paper. Okay, let's go with that. So this was the example that I had, and this was the drawing that I had for the top of the car. So then after I approve your final drawing, you'll cut it out like a pattern, and you're gonna lay it on top, and then you're gonna use this pattern to cut your car out. Okay, or we will use it to cut your car out. We are way ahead of the game on this. What's the main task for today? The main task for today is I want you looking at designs for those 4 thumbnails. You might decide that you find something that you think is really great. Sketch it out on a piece of paper. If it's a small picture and you're only going to have one of them, feel free to print it out. All of these things you want to put your name on them and put them in the drawer because they're things that you're going to want to hang on to. Today is an opportunity for you to do research and design. In Blackboard, there are a ton of videos and links for CO2 cars and CO2 racers. I encourage you to look at those. Use your time wisely. Make the most of the time that you have today. Make smart choices. I'll talk to you soon.